So let's finally talk about the Demon Slayer movie. I decided to let it marinate for a second, collect my thoughts before I started gushing about this. But let me just say, the movie was dope. This movie had supreme hype ever since the first preview back in 2019, and the wait for it has been ridiculous. It's even more crazy because I haven't been to a theater since last year, so my anxiety levels were already skyrocketing. Last movie I saw in the theater was Heroes Rising, but the anticipation for this one is on another level, and I love seeing movies with other weebs. Sadly, my experience this time wasn't as hype as it was seeing the My Hero movies or Dragon Ball Broly, but it didn't hinder my experience overall. But I do miss my usual cosplayers and just general hypeness whenever something happens on screen. Look, I enjoy the total package, but I will say that this movie was fucking wild. I'm a sucker for the Demon Slayer franchise, so I was entranced the entire time. So the things I liked about the movie, especially one, the fact that they did a continuation of the series. Look, I'm not mad about other shows that tend to do the non-canon stories. I love both the My Hero movies, but I also understand they fall in a different territory that, hey, it's a side story. What I loved about this one here, that I can literally follow what happened at the end of season 1, and me personally, I love that. A lot of franchises are going to try and copy this style, and rightfully so. It makes sense to continue the story of the source material, of course. And listen, I love the My Hero movies, but I also understand that they're not canon. It doesn't take away from the experience of it, but it gives me goosebumps being able to see what the next thing that Tanjiro and company are gonna do. And of course, everyone knows the animation was on another level. Dear UFOtable, please do not stop making this anime. Don't let regular scenes like this deter you from the sheer epicness of other scenes. The thick line art, to the alluring use of colors, to the unmistakable beautiful 3D backgrounds. UFOtable always puts their foot in anything they create. It hurts that I can't go into much detail about this because I don't want to spoil this. Because when this shit slaps, it slaps! The story is pretty much simple and nothing too different, but it isn't bad. Obviously, everyone should know that Rengoku was sent on a mission to find out about the disappearing passengers of the Mugen train. And Tanjiro and Ko were sent to accompany him on the very mission, and they have to find out if it's being taken over by a demon. It's no spoiler, if you saw the last episode of season 1, you already know what's gonna lead into the movie. We clearly know it's gonna be Enmu taking the train hostage, and honestly, I loved watching him ham up the screen. The man demands screen time, and I'm gonna let you do your thing, homie. The story isn't perfect, but it's serviceable to tell the story of a pretty short arc in the manga. The interaction between the characters are what keeps me interested in the series. The gang was top-notch in this movie. And Tanjiro is Tanjiro. What can I say about your boy? Some of the lengths he has to go through to get the job done had the entire theater gasping. The story does touch on a lot of sore spots for him, and watching him overcome those struggles are the whole reason why I love this dude. And of course, Inosuke was turned up to an 11, and I loved every second of it. It shows that I'm going to love seeing more of him as the series progresses. I'm not mad that they turned him into the comedy relief. I think it goes pretty well with his personality. But I have to say, the biggest surprise was that I did not hate Zenitsu in this one. And listen, if you guys heard my other review, I am not a fan of Zenitsu. But this was the first time I could say he didn't annoy my ass off. Maybe it was the fact that he wasn't whining like a little bitch every 2 seconds. But I digress. I'm usually always eye-rolling when I see him, but this movie changed my opinion of him. For now, we'll see about season 2. We finally get to see more of Rengoku this time. And I love the pleasure of seeing a Hashira in action. They've been talked up so much, it blows my mind seeing the sheer power they can generate. He was a solid character with a much deserved backstory, but I gotta leave it there. I can't say anymore. Listen. There's no movie without problems. If I had to nitpick something about the movie, I would have to say that I am not a fan of being spoon-fed the plot. And I will say that for about 20 minutes of this movie, you are ham-fisted exposition after exposition. And I'm sorry, as much as I love Demon Slayer, I gotta call an error on that part. From the first 5 minutes, you already know what this movie is about. If you've seen the trailer, you already know what this movie is about. And I'm not exaggerating. For about 20 minutes, you are being told every little tiny detail about what's going on. You're not even if you don't know what's going on in the movie, you're not even given a second to even think for yourself. In that, as much as I do love this movie, I give this movie a strong 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10. I gotta say it was fire. I mean, an overall of everything, 8 out of 10. Even for that, it gets knocked down because that was the beauty of the first season. You weren't always told everything that's going on. Sometimes you have to infer, you have to figure out on your own. Shit, sometimes you gotta go on a forum just to see what happened in the episode. Was that just me? It didn't take away from the movie from me. Lord knows, no. I still enjoyed the fuck out of this. But every time we spent such a long scene of just, now this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this is gonna happen, you tend to roll your eyes a little bit, but I still thought it was cool nonetheless. Another thing I did notice that there is one particular scene with the use of CGI that I know for some people, they're gonna nitpick about it. It didn't take me out of the movie. I thought it was fine. But I know some people are gonna fucking downgrade this for it, and I don't think it's fair. And if you do, fuck you. It wasn't that big of a deal. It still looked awesome, and oh my God, there's so much more I want to talk about, but it wouldn't be fair. I want more of these. I love the fact that we were able to get something that was canon to the story and being brought to the big screen. I hope other studios take note of this, realize how successful this movie was, and that we should keep doing it. Maybe we're gonna finally get to an era where we don't have to continue always seeing non-canon stories and knowing before we see a movie, it's not a part of the story, I don't want to go and see it. No, you should see it. You should want to see your favorite characters interact in any kind of shape or form. Just like we watch spin-offs or we read spin-off mangas. Nothing wrong with it, but I love the fact that this did so well that I am 100% sure that every other studio will follow suit. And you know why I say that? Quince Season 3 will be a movie. I repeat, they are turning the last season of Quince into a movie. That's when you know you done set some records and you did some shit. Hey, kudos to you, Demon Slayer. Kudos to the author. Kudos to UFOtable for bringing another banger to the United States. I fucking love it. Hey, look, this is my little hot take for the Demon Slayer movie. It's not much. I can't spoil a lot of things. But hey, now if y'all excuse me, I'm gonna go ahead and buy another ticket to go and see it again. And I hope y'all do it too. Deuce.